PDR coming at you here with a 07 Pontiac, a G6 with that dent on the door. See that? Let's put it through the board. This is most likely not the angle that I'm going to be working at, but I've got my wedge and my guard up in there, and I'm just looking at that thing. I don't know why it's doing that flashes. Here you go. Let me hand that off. Put this up. Now is it still doing the flashing? Okay. But that's what we're looking at, and let me actually give you a different view right here if you want to come around behind me. We are out here in nature, so you might hear the occasional rooster crow. But that little guy, if you just heard him. So let's get this thing nice and warm. And first things first, I've checked the access on this. My number one tool gets down and dirty all over this dent. But first things first, there's a large brow across the top of it, and I think that's what we're going to go for, is we're going to get that large brow out. So I'm just going to start beating on it while it's heating up. It's already a little bit warm. I've had the heater on it for a while, a heat gun on it for, it's at 107. Where's the dot? Hello? How come I can barely see that dot? Okay. 114, 112, right in the center. So I can move this in just a little bit, just a ½ inch or so. And I'm going to come in here with my jackhammer with the rubber mushroom tip on it. Find where they start to pinch. And kind of baby that brow out a little bit before I push on anything. So this might be kind of a little slow intro into hello world, PDR coming at you here, and we've got an 07 G6 with a big door dent tapping down the brow. I sure do appreciate everybody that clicked on this video. If you guys want to hit that subscribe button, that's awesome. I continue to put out content regularly. So why am I hitting right here? Because it's pinching. If you notice, it's pinching right there. So right where it pinches, I basically need it to not pinch. You know, I mean, it's doing some pinching down here if you really look closely. Anywhere that crosses this line. And how should it look? It should look like it is up here. It goes down, it does a little Z formation, then it goes down straight. So it should be basically two straight lines with a little Z through that brow. And it doesn't happen right here because this is really tight. We're doing a little bit of intricate tapping with the Shane jacks. And actually a different tip that I put on it. So I'd love to keep you guys in for all this brow tapping, but it's really slight work, and I'm gonna bring you back in when I take my number one tool and put it down in the door and get to pushing. So okay, I'm gonna get down and dirty on this dent like a G6. And what I did here, guys, is I had a little piece of plastic, like one of those little caps, put it on there and put some electrical tape around my number one tool because I didn't want to make some serious hard pushies. Actually, if you want to get over my shoulder on this one, you'll see the magic happen. Maybe I'll start down at the bottom there, who knows. Like I said, I'm all over this dent, so I can pretty much push wherever I want. I'll run that line out real quick. This is a nice car for a very nice customer of mine that I've done literally thousands of dollars of work for. So I'm pretty confident that this little dent might only take 5 or 10 minutes to really get to that level of not just expectation, but you know what I say I'm going to give versus letting somebody know if it's going to be 100% gone or not. Customer here is not expecting that in any means. I'm just going to go for as good as I can get on it in as quick amount of time as I can do it, and be a realist about this dent. And it looks like I'm right up here on the top, and I'm just trying to get this top of this triangle. Now I'm going to go into that large valley and really give it the pushes that it deserves. Coming down towards the line now. Now I'm on that line, if you see that. And I'm basically on the line, hooking it and pulling almost up. Like I'm twisting and pushing, and you can see now is when it starts to look worse before it gets better. Little drops of rain starting. We are outdoors, obviously, and personally, I like doing dents outdoors. As long as I'm not getting rained on really hard. And now I'm right back down here on the bottom, guys. I keep on going back down to this bottom edge. And I'm making some pretty severe pushes across that line. I guess I'll just come right up and finish out this 122, 118, 120. It looks like we might need a new battery on the old thermometer. And I still see the brow up top here. I didn't get that whole brow completely out, which I'm gonna have to. So I sure do appreciate everybody sticking with me through this little quick video, hopefully. I mean, if it goes into the 10-minute range, it just means I'm taking the time to do it right. Let me change my angle a little bit, so I really see what I'm looking at here. And now I'm basically just working that large low valley. And let's go up to that top one. I don't know, for some reason it's not letting me get all the way up there. Yeah, I guess it does, but it's a tight little area. Okay, so yeah, I need some taps here. I need some taps there. And I guess I can take this last little bit of football out. If I get the white, I can see right where I want to be here. And like I say, guys, I'm not going to spend all day on this dent. This is, I mean, honestly, right now where I'm looking at, it's probably at that 65, 70% mark. I wouldn't want to stop here. I'll get it to my normal 90, 95, but just means I got to take this little brow out here and then work this last little bit of valley. That line came out pretty nice, to be honest. Excuse me, with the clearing my throat and that thing. Okay, so there we go. To be honest, that line came out pretty good. If I can get right back down into it, let me try to find it here. And I could stylely one-hand it, but I don't want to. I'm gonna put my hand up there and brace my where I need to be. And now I see a little bit more of it. I'm actually going through and I'm using the fog, guys. See, I'm working on the lines. I'm working while I'm looking at the lines. I'm straightening up my little black lines. But anytime I know. Okay, guys, so we got cut off there for a second. But what I was saying is anytime I really need to see any lows, I can just, go back a little bit and use the fog of that board rather than the lines themselves. Because the lines, when I get them to look straight, they start to look straight. So without moving the board back and rechecking and redoing everything, I just moved my head a little bit and get into that fog, and it shows a lot more. This bottom edge is really looking good. This top edge still has this little brow thing. That's why I pulled my tool out, because I saw this brow up top. Still needs some of this. And if you see where I'm tapping, it's like right as that thing starts to pinch and roll backwards. Brow work is really difficult, guys. It's something that even when you do it every single day, you're still kind of like, okay, am I right on that spot? And you gotta, it's almost a feel. That's why I kind of like this Change X, because it's a lot more forgiving, and it just basically says if you're anywhere around that brow, you can tell the difference between being on it and not being on it by the feel and the sound. And a whole bunch of tiny little wappy tappies, rather than using the sharp point and actually going tink, 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 and making basically a row of divots, microscopic ones, be they may. But yes. So yeah, that brow is slowly starting to come out. Got that little bit of background noise from a beast. I think that Chevy Impala wagon. I don't even know if it was an Impala wagon. I think it was just a Chevy wagon back in those days. But yeah, we're still on this brow, guys. We're still up on this top brow, because before that's basically the thing that's catching all the light and all the visual. It runs right across here, and you can see, I mean, we don't want a brow there. We want it to run right through here and have that nice round edge. So when I'm seeing right where it starts to pinch, kind of got you guys in here for some brow work. And this is, I don't know, one of the videos that we're showing a lot of brow work, I guess because we have the time and the space, and the rooster's crowing. We're out here in nature getting a little bit rained on, but it's all good. And so at this point in the video is when I'm going to say, seriously, I really do appreciate all the positive comments. Everybody that makes a comment, we read them. We reply to almost every single one of them, just because we really appreciate the community. Love to see it grow. And as I've been saying sometimes lately, I'd love to see this dent go away. So let's get it. Let's get after it. And let's get on it. Right here up on the top of the brow. And if I go back into the fog, I see it stops right there. There are certain places where I do want to use this sharp tip tapper, because when I'm looking at that fog and I just see the edge of the crater, and it kind of just looks like the moon, you know, you're like, oh, there's the top of the crater right there. There's that valley. Okay, I got to push on that. So basically, by knowing what you're looking at and why that metal pinches like that, why does it pinch like that? Well, it has to have somewhere to go. I mean, that dent went whoosh and pushed that metal out, so it has to have somewhere to go. Let's get it warm again. Excuse the background noise. And this is going to be real close to finishing it off. Let me give it a little bit more on this brow while it's heating up. And actually, what I'm going to do is keep tapping on the brow while it's heating up for a while. We'll get it out, and we will come back to you in just a bit. Okay, guys, here's what we ended up with. You know, not perfect, but like I told you earlier, it's not. I didn't plan perfect. What is that? Is that a little scuff? It might be, but I had some tap marks. It still has a tiny bit of brow. I mean, you know, we did what we could. This is also wholesale job, you know, and to say the difference between wholesale and retail is this to perfection. I mean, are we ever going to get perfection out of that dent? I don't know. I think those scuffs in the paint are going to stay. I'm not going to get the 2000 grit out and do the professional polish, because you guys know I don't do that. This is also probably going to go to a professional detailer and get detailed where they might have to do that, do the underneath the handles and whatever they do. But otherwise, I sure appreciate everybody sticking around through this one. This was pretty big dent, came out pretty nice. So let's see if this stuff will take out this little wax scuff. I don't know, what is that, just OCD at the end of the video? Make sure you hit that like on the way out if you liked it. And if you hit the notifications bell, you'll be notified every time that we make another video. So otherwise, this has been PDR, and I'm out. Peace.